Hello and welcome, everyone. This is video 6 of the Connecticut Driver's License Make a Decision app, falling under Code.org Unit 4, Lesson 12. This is a model, and it's to serve as also a review of some incoming requirements for the course. So let's get to our JavaScript. This will be our third video in JavaScript, so let's take a look on the screen. Just a little refresher here. We are asking our users to enter a name, and we're storing that variable as a string. We're also asking them to enter an age. And then the call to action is just a learn more button down below on the first page. It takes us to a second page. And now we have one string output with 3 parts. The first part here, as you remember from last time, we hard-coded this with concatenation so that hello, comma, and the exclamation mark stayed. And the name was dynamic based on the input of the user. That was irregardless of age, so we kept that out of the if statement. The bottom portion, click on the link below for additional details. Again, that was not specific to age, so we assigned that a hard-coded string as well. And now our focus needs to be on the middle here. So we're going to get a different message based on age, under 16, under 18 or 18 or above. And then also we're going to get a different button showing down below. So let's head on over to our Unit 2 Connecticut Driver's License project. And where we left off, we are in code. So under the logo, make sure you're selecting the code button. And coming up on the screen here, we were working on line 27 to 35, which was our update decision function. So if you remember our first JavaScript, we put together all of the events for our 4 buttons. Second JavaScript video, we spoke about setting up variables, introducing them as global, getting the text from the UI, and getting the number from the UI for name and age. And here's where that hard coding occurred. Results greeting, we assigned the hello, comma, and then a space and a quote, and that was the first part of the string. Plus name, that is coming from line 28 based on the input from the user, and then another plus, and then the quote inside the exclamation mark. So the only thing that was not in quotes was the name reference here, and that hence the word concatenation. You're combining strings with a dynamic variable output. All right, and then down below on line 31 was the more info button, and this was an entire string. Click on the link below for additional information. Okay, so our focus now comes into the conditional statement if age is less than 16. And what would we want to have happen here? Okay, so we want to establish what I believe will be our final variable here. However, this variable is going to be content assigned specific to where age is. So what that means is we're going to head on over to variable. We're going to get a variable assignment here, but we're placing it inside of the block of code. So remember that the only way this block of code will be read is if age less than 16 comes up as true. That is a Boolean reference, age less than 16. So for Boolean conditional statements, it's like a question. Is age less than 16? If the answer is yes, if it's true, then the block of code will be read. If not, we'll deal with that next. But right now, let's direct our attention to what happens if this is read. And I'm going to type in results output. So we're going to create another variable here. And this is going to be a string. Okay, we're typing in you will need to wait until age, let me spell that right, until age 16 to begin your, and we're going to go off the screen here a bit, So let's see. I'm going to switch to show text here. I'm going to slide over, and to begin your driving experience. And we want to end that with a period, so that period will end the sentence inside of our string. And then we want to close that quote. Okay. So now that is the entire string. You will need to wait until age 16 to begin your driving experience. And then notice the semicolon here ends the thought. So what thought are we ending? We're ending the variable assignment. We're assigning that statement to the variable results output. So let's head back to blocks here. And now you should see that results output is in purple. And take a look here. We get our triangle again. It's saying it hasn't been declared yet. So as you might imagine, we want to take the variable declaration, which is our block number 2, and we want to introduce that variable to the entire program. So hopefully I have this spelt right. Let's see, line 6 is results output, lower camel case, lowercase r, capital O. Let's scroll down and make sure we've got that here. And a telltale sign is that triangle is now gone. So we introduce results output at the very top, and then we assign that string if age is less than 16. Okay. So as a point of reference, let's just go through the user steps again. Let's select Travis. Let's select 15. So we're getting that under age 16 trigger. Learn more. And now in the entire text coming on the screen, we want the first variable, hello, comma, Travis. We want the you will need to wait until age 16 to begin your driving experience. That's results output. So we have results greeting, results output variable, and then the more info variable. So we want to incorporate 3 different string variables into this output if we get under age 16. And finally, we only want to show one of the buttons. And in this circumstance, the plan ahead. So what does all that mean? Well, we've got user controls to deal with. So let's go over to UI, and we want to come down and select set text. Now, set text does exactly what it says. If we hover over that, it's going to set the text for the specified element. So now the element we want specified is results. Where am I getting that? If you hover over the ID, I think I am incorrect here. Notice the ID here when I'm hovering over this big open text box. That's output. So let's change that. Come on down to here, and we want this to be output. Now, what we're saying here is anything that we place inside of these quotes here is going to appear on the output ID in the user interface. So let's think this through again. We want results greeting. And now results greeting is not going to be in quotes because we're pulling that from line 31, and that's the hello name and exclamation. Now, that's still a string, it's concatenation, but we're only referring to the dynamic variable name here. If I were to put this in quotes, results greeting in quotes, all I would get was that word results greeting back. So we want the variable to be triggered here, which means anything that is assigned from line 31 is going to come here. All right, now next, plus, we want the concatenation here. And let me leave a space, sorry. Now this gets a little tricky because we want this all to be in one string, but notice there is a carriage return here. In other words, it looks like someone typed this out, hit enter, created another paragraph. So we can make that all happen on one output so that we don't require 2 elements here, 2 text outputs. And how we do that is we open up a set of quotes and we use a /n, and it's called a break. And that /n will just create a break to a new line, but we'll keep everything on this output ID. Now, I want to actually do that twice. So let's open quotes, /n again, close quotes, space, and plus again. Now, next, we have results greeting. Now we want the results output here. Now that results output will be you need to wait until age 16. That's specific to age 16 here. Finally, space plus, we want another 2. Two breaks, and that means open quotes. And what I'm going to do, I'm going off the screen, so I'm going to head over to show text. And this will allow me to use this scroll down below. So we have results greeting plus 2 carriage returns plus results output. And we're here, so I want that break or carriage return again, and I want 2 of them to be consistent. /n again. And finally, we want the more info variable. That is the last statement. Okay. So now we are done with that. I want to close. We have the close parentheses here, and I have the end thought. So it looks like we've got everything. So let's just go back one more time and make sure we've got everything consistent. So in set text, we are setting text to the output ID, and we're putting the following text there. Anything from results greeting, and that's going to be hello, hello Nicholas, and exclamation mark. Then 2 enters, and then the results output. Now this will be, you'll need to wait until age 16. That's defined on line 34. Then plus 2 more enters, 2 more carriage returns. So open quotes, /n, close quotes, repeat that again, and then finally the more info variable. Okay, so let's head back to show blocks. And now we should have all 3 working together. So let's just take a quick look here. At the very top, there is our results greeting. Here is our results output. And finally, this is our more info. And we're putting that all within the text for this ID called output. Okay. The other thing we want to do here is we want to hide the other 2 buttons. So there is something in the user control, the UI, where if we come down, let me find it here. We're looking for hide element. So this will hide any element provided you indicate the ID. So we're going to drag that right underneath set text, and this has to be inside of the block of code if you get a true statement for under age 16. Now, the 2 elements we want to hide the adult learner link, and we want to hide the teen link. So that means the only link that should be showing is the underage link. Remember, we have 3 of them stacked right on top of each other. So now this will hide 2. Okay, so basically we have completed the conditional statement for if we have a true statement of age is less than 16, we're going to assign a value to results output. combine all 3 concatenations, and hide the 2 buttons. All right, coming up next, we're going to wrap up this with a final video on what happens if the user is under age 18 or over. As you could probably anticipate, there's going to be some cut and paste, and that should wrap up the JavaScript and the application as well. So we'll see you in the next one, everyone.